Howdy everybody and welcome back to our Summer Game Totally Not E3 Fest 2025 coverage. Jeff Keighley is still somehow finding ways to surprise us after all these years and brought us another fantastic show with Summer Game Fest 2025, and it had tons of amazing announcements. So let's just jump straight into our recap of the entire show. Summer Game Fest opened up with the reveal of Mortal Blade 2, coming to PC, Xbox, and PS5. The sequel looks like it's improving on everything from the first game, and it's great to see Cult Symmetry, the independent studio behind it, continuing to grow. Afterwards, Hideo Kojima took the stage to give us one last trailer for Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, which is set to release in just a couple of weeks. Kojima said a lot of the inspiration comes from the pandemic and that players should think about that when playing. The new trailer gave us a look at the characters of Neil and Lucy in what seems to be a therapy session of some sorts. Neil doesn't seem to remember Lucy, and that's all I can really say, since I assume this will all somehow make sense when we finally get to play through the whole game in a couple of weeks. In a trailer narrated by Tom Hardy, Raw Power Games revealed Chronicles Medieval, set for early 2026. This one looks pretty interesting and I can't wait to see more of it. We then got a new trailer for Sonic Racing Crossworlds, which showed off Hatsune Miku, Ichiban from the Yakuza series, Joker from Persona, and Minecraft's very own Steve, all coming to the game. What a weird list of crossover characters. It is coming in September, and it's also good to see that it's going to have cross-play support. Bandai Namco then showed up with one of my favorite announcements in Code Vein 2. I actually didn't think this trailer was that great, but I love the first game so much, so I'm very excited for the sequel. Following that, a trailer for End of Abyss, a scary looking indie game, Mouse PI revealing that Troy Baker will be the lead voice actor, and Game of Thrones War for Westeros, an RTS set in the Game of Thrones universe. Munfish, the devs of Atomic Heart, showed up with two amazing announcements. The first was the reveal of Atomic Heart 2, with Queen's Don't Stop Me Now setting the tone. Very excited to see how the team can improve on the first game's shortcomings with this one. The second trailer was for the Cube Atomic Universe, an action MMORPG set in the Atomic Heart universe. The concept seems really neat, so I hope the team ends up nailing it. Rocket Raccoon and She-Hulk were the newest characters revealed for Marvel Cosmic Invasion. They look absolutely fantastic, and I seriously cannot wait to play this when it comes out later this year. We then received a new look at Onimusha Way of the Sword, which showed off tons of gameplay. This is still set for a 2026 release, and I expect we'll be seeing more of it later this year. Speeding ahead a bit, we got a look at Feel That Botting, a Punch-Out inspired puppet game with music by Flying Lotus, Killer In, a murder mystery action game from Square Enix. Arc Raiders received a new story trailer revealing its release date of October 30th, and we received one last look at Dune Awakening before its release in a couple of days. Following that, we saw Out of Words, one of my smaller highlights of the show. It's a stop-motion side-scroller that looks, well, I was going to say out of this world, but that would be kind of cheesy. That was followed by a trailer for Mafia: The Old Country, which is releasing in August, and the reveal of LEGO Voyagers, the next game from the team behind LEGO Builder's Journey, and their first co-op one. Lies of P Overture then received its final trailer as the expansion was shadow dropped and is playable today. The third game in the Jurassic World Evolution series was officially revealed with a release date of October 21st and looks to be adding tons of new additions to the series. Following that, Yacht Club Games showed up with a new trailer for Mina the Hollower, which will finally be getting its release on October 31st. And I need to take the time to shout out Kyle Bossman, who made a stage appearance before the reveal of Deadpool VR, which will bring the Merc with a Mouth, voiced by Neil Patrick Harris, to the Meta Quest. There was also trailers for Dying Light the Beast, coming out on August 22nd, Mixtape, one of my highlights from last year's Xbox showcase, and Acts of Blood, a sick-looking action game from a solo dev. The team behind TMNT Shredder's Revenge and Marvel Cosmic Invasion then announced a brand new Scott Pilgrim game with Scott Pilgrim EX, which I can only assume is going to be as good as their original game and their other titles that they've made in the last couple years. IO Interactive then showed up with a new update for Hitman, one that keeps feeding my James Bond and Hitman love, as the game will be receiving a Casino Royale limited time mission with Mads Mikkelsen returning in his iconic role from the movie. The mission is available today and will be playable till July 6th. I can't wait to hop into that. Following trailers for Lego Party, Wildgate, and Blighted, we saw our first look at Ill, a horror game which looks to be really disturbing. I'm so excited to play that alone at like 2 in the morning. The last 30 minutes brought us trailers for Mecha Break, Infinitesimals, and a small teaser from Capcom on Resident Evil's 30th anniversary. We'll be having to wait just a little bit longer though on getting to see the next Resident Evil, but I know when we finally see it, it's going to be a great one. Capcom also took the time to reveal that the next wave of fighters for Street Fighter 6 will be Sagat, Sea Viper, Ingrid, and Alex, who will all be coming to the game in year 3. There was then trailers for Last Flag, Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers, Wu-Tang Rise of the Deceiver, and yes, it is the Wu-Tang you are thinking of, and Into the Unwell, which looks like a 3D Cuphead action game, and I really can't wait to play it. Finally, Splitgate 2 is revealed to be available to jump into right now. Right before the final reveal, we received a new look at RGG Studios' Project Sentry, which is now known as Stranger Than Heaven. It was easily my second favorite announcement of the show. This game looks absolutely fantastic, and it's hitting every damn vibe that I could have ever dreamed of. I seriously cannot wait to play this one, and shout out to RGG for continuing to just kill it year after year. But what was that final announcement? And also my favorite of the show? Well, as I mentioned earlier, Capcom said we would have to wait to see the full reveal of the next Resident Evil. That wait was apparently like only 30 minutes because Summer Game Fest closed off with the reveal of Resident Evil 9, which is simply known as Requiem. We'll be playing as Grace Ashcroft, the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft, one of the playable characters from both RE Outbreak games. It seems we'll be returning to the remains of Raccoon City, which, if you remember, got blown up by a nuclear bomb. The game is set to release on February 27th for PC, Xbox, and PS5, and according to Keighley, will mark a bold shift for the franchise both in tone and gameplay. It seems like Capcom's gonna finally be attempting to blend the action and horror aspects in a way they've never done before. 2026 is already looking to be an extremely great year for games. And with that, we have wrapped up our coverage of Summer Game Fest 2025, but the season still isn't over as we still have an Xbox Game Showcase and some smaller events this weekend. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon to be notified because we still have a super busy week ahead. I've been your host, Brandon Alanis, and we'll be back very, very soon.